So there has been a great deal of talk in the Magic community about our most recent Pro Tour winner, Michael DiBenedetto Plummer, having cheated in his finals game against Francisco Sanchez at Pro Tour Edge of Eternities. I've even seen some passionate folks online saying he should have been given a game loss or even lose his title. But the particulars on the quote cheating instance are a bit particular. So let's take a look. Here's game 1 of the finals. Michael has built himself quite the board state here. Tons of mana, lots of options. So, Francisco takes the opportunity to cast Orim's Chant. Orim's Chant has an additional kicker cost that we don't care about, but Francisco is using it for the first line of text on the card. Target player can't cast spells this turn. And it resolves from the stack, meaning that Michael can no longer cast anything for the remainder of this turn. But let's see what he does next.
Get that card, but as we mentioned, there's only so much he can do here, even if he could generate 100 mana.
Right, Orim's Chant has resolved. But Michael has lots of mana to work with here. What is that, 6, 7, 10 mana currently? Play a land for turn, so that would be 11 on the following turn.
Said he's just going to pass back, though. Nothing he can do with it with that Orim's Chant.
Right.
Did you catch it? Michael suspended a Lotus Bloom from his hand instead of casting it. That's probably fine. He didn't cast it after all. No one called for a judge. It makes sense. But let's take a look at that card and see for ourselves. Lotus Bloom is a nothing mana artifact with suspend 3 for 0 mana. Suspend reading, rather than cast this card from your hand, pay 0 and exile it with 3 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter. When the last is removed, cast it without paying its mana cost. Simple enough. Michael wasn't allowed to cast spells for the remainder of his turn due to the Orim's Chant affecting him. So he used the suspend on this Lotus Bloom that exiles it from your hand with time counters on it, rather than casting it, right? Well, no. Contrary to what the reminder text on the card might have you believe, you still need to be able to cast the Lotus Bloom in order to suspend it. The wording isn't going to help, unfortunately. You need to know the rule yourself. Because even though the card itself literally says, rather than cast this, you still need to be able to cast the card to begin with to even initiate that suspend. It isn't a traditional ability on a card like Otawara or Paseju, where you're not actually casting anything. But the suspend on a Lotus Bloom is more of a alternate cast. So, anyways, we now see the problem. So why didn't someone call a judge for this blatant cheating? Well, it probably wasn't really cheating. Let's take a look at what Wizards defines cheating as in their own rules. Unsporting conduct, cheating. Definition: a person breaks a rule defined by the tournament documents, lies to a tournament official, or notices an offense committed in their or a teammate's match and does not call attention to it. Sidebar here, that first sentence specifically relates to the fact that it is every player's responsibility to maintain the board state accurately. Additionally, the offense must meet the following criteria for it to be considered cheating. The player must be attempting to gain advantage from their action. The player must be aware that they are doing something illegal. If all criteria are not met, the offense is not cheating and is handled by a different infraction. Cheating will often appear on the surface as a gameplay error or tournament error, and must be investigated by the judge to make a determination of intent and awareness. So let's break it down piece by piece to see if Michael follows the actual preliminary requirements of cheating. Did Michael break a defined rule? Yes. Did he lie to a tournament official? No. Did he notice the offense and not call attention to it? No. Was he attempting to gain an advantage from his action? Yes. Was he aware he was doing something illegal? Well, that's the hard part here. If you knew you weren't allowed to cast spells, and instead you wanted to suspend a card from your hand, suspend on the card you are reading, literally reading instead of casting this, do this, you'd probably think you could do it too while you can't cast. And that's what both Michael and Francisco thought in that moment. Bear in mind, while they are some of the best players in the world, the finals of Pro Tour Edge of Eternities, right? They are still in one of the most high-stress environments you can find in Magic the Gathering, if not the most. They're under hot stage lights, surrounded by cameras and spectators. They're being live-streamed to thousands of people around the world, and they have already been playing Magic all day for days, along with all these other strains. So neither of them caught the slip-up in the moment. In fact, both players after that game later came out to discuss the issue themselves. Michael simply attributed it to a misunderstanding of rules and that you learn stuff every day. And Francisco admitted that the Lotus Bloom did not affect the outcome of the match. It's a great show of sportsmanship. WotC, of course, did investigate Michael afterwards, as they have to, but did not find anything to support a cheating accusation. Ultimately, I see this as an incredibly easy thing to mess up. Neither player caught it, the casters themselves didn't catch it, and a majority of viewers didn't catch it until somebody pointed it out. And frankly, the single illegal Lotus Bloom did not have an impact on the game or the series as a whole, and Michael earned his Pro Tour victory in spectacular fashion regardless. I made this video because I get really tired of blatant lies being spread about other people. I find the integrity of competition to be an important thing. And I am someone who just heard the Pro Tour winner cheated and nothing else and had to figure it out myself. So I saw it as my duty to step up and explain a bit for those folks in those same shoes. Thank you for watching, folks, and let me know in the comments how you feel about this situation. Thank you to the members and patrons who make this cripple's dream possible. Make sure to subscribe to Hunter's Lodge to hear more stories told, and most importantly of all, hunters, stay blessed. Real talk quick. I recently moved to Hudson, New York, and the move is pretty much complete. My desk is currently set up in the living room of this apartment, so it's not exactly the most private office. Sorry, I'm also coming off a horrible cold. But I apologize for the lack of uploads. It has been a great deal in my life overcoming this hurdle, and I'm still overcoming it now. I hope that this move will encourage even more creativity and better content here. I would love to have more time to work on this stuff. Those regulars around the channel know my job is basically cock and ball torture the job, so I don't have a lot of time available to me, but I do plan on making more videos. If you have any ideas yourself of what you would like me to make, please let me know in the comments. It would mean the world to me. I read every comment, and I do try to take your suggestions to heart. Because frankly, I don't know what to do right now for videos, so I just kind of go off of what I feel in the day, and if I have the time, I make it. So, yeah, thank you to everybody for sticking around the lodge. I'll see you soon.